use the video, but so what I'm doing this fall is I'm gonna basically incorporate a lot of the product ideas that I came up with already. Like, um, so you were asking about like trading in general. So like from zero. Yeah, let me show you what I'm going to cover in my classes and then see if that resonates. So the first class I teach is investments, and the beginning part of that class is like an overview of like what are the financial markets, what are the order types, what products can you trade, what are the major exchanges, like what is price, what is volume. So students in that class, like, you might learn like what's a limit order, what's a market order, and then all of that info I'm going to encompass in here. So even though this is sort of like a day trading product, I'm not going to roll it out like that. I'm going to roll it out as like beginning financial knowledge concepts. And then the second version of it, the intermediate version, is going to be more into like efficient market theory, behavioral finance, technical analysis, but then it'll get into more like risk framework and understanding like what are your metrics when you're looking at a portfolio that you want to pay attention to from like a portfolio standpoint. So like total return, average annualized return, beta, standard deviation for risk, beta for risk, so like portfolio beta, and then relating some of that stuff to like traditional finance, like the capital asset pricing model. So like if your portfolio beta is 1 and the risk-free rate's 1% and the return on the market's 8%, then like theoretically for your beta, your portfolio should return 8% per year. But if the portfolio returns 15%, then you're doing really good. So that's what I'll cover up through here. And then I made two new versions that I guess they're not on here, but they're intermediate strategies. And basically what they're going to do is extend that framework like to options and futures and go through like what's a futures contract, how do you read a futures contract, what's an options chain, how do you locate options that you want to trade, but then also like how do you take the technical signals on an intermediate basis and apply them to like equities and futures. So then if you have a portfolio, like you said, like where do you go to start? So you've got 7,000 different stocks at any given time available. The portfolios here, they basically go through like automating how to sift through those stocks. And so what I'm going to have the students do is they're basically going to pick like one portfolio in like a group of like 2 to 5 and remake them. And then what I hope to do is look at the stocks that pass and look at the intermediate trading signals and put the two together and see like, can you figure out like at any given time if one of those stocks pops up 90% and overall on the month the portfolio is up 8 to 10%, but you had one go up 90, one go down 30, and a bunch in between. How do you focus on those stocks that are going up 20% to 90% using technicals? And then how do you layer options on top of that? And then how do you take all of that and apply it to futures? So that's the investments class. The other class I teach is like a seminar capstone class, and it's basically going to start with this recession indicator, but it's going to start out here and it's going to look at like what's the broad macro overview of the market, and it's going to look at things like the relative rotation. So at any given time based on the market conditions, like right now you've got the market, it's recovering from the March sell-off and possible recession looming looking type of period, with a lot of it being news driven on tariffs. But you can see like prior to that, tech was really leading the market up, and that is, as it got closer to February, March, it was like utilities and financials, which was a big red flag for me. And so now what you want to look at is like what sectors are currently leading the market up. And so I use Bloomberg for that. You can also use a tool like Optima to do that. And there might be other tools, but we're going to start there in the class and then look at like macro overview, like where's the economy going, what sectors are in favor, what sectors are weakening. and then go back into these portfolios and, like the other class, learn how to rebuild them from scratch, but then apply them to like either all US stocks or the S&P 500 or both, and then see like, take CanSlim for example. Usually that's a good approximation of like the hot sectors. So like when tech was leading, there'd be a lot of tech passing the CanSlim stocks. Actually, you could even just go and look at that. I don't know if right now I want to do it, but um, I mean, like you can go and you can see like back in time. So anyway, the second class, they're going to rebuild these portfolios from scratch, and then what they're going to do is look at what stocks pass, and then try to match that up with the relative rotation, so they can see like, based on the market conditions, is it like a value portfolio like Buffett that's leading the market? Is it a growth portfolio like CanSlim? And then they'll apply those back tests like 1 month, 3 month, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, and get an overall picture of how their strategy is doing. And yeah, and then turn that in, and that'd be like the first part of the class, probably up to the midterm. The second part would be taking these portfolios further and then breaking them down inside a Bloomberg equity screen, and then I'll show them like how to go a little bit farther than that, and then take all of that info and do it in Python. And then they'll do that until the final, and then they'll take the same portfolios, make a video, show how they did it in Python, and then that info is what I'll start to populate inside of these. So if you're somebody that like would like to learn that type of stuff, you can go and learn them. And then what I'm working on here is like more of like a flagship product that's like a one-off fee, but it'll cover everything from both courses without the university tuition. So you can basically get like a template at the start, and then it'll go through like beginning markets, extending that, technical analysis, applying it to famous investor models, um, options and futures, picking out individual stocks, applying options, applying futures, rebuilding the portfolios, looking at the macro overview of the economy, what sectors are in favor, what stocks are in favor, and then as you're looking at the famous investor portfolios, like what particular portfolio is matching up with the market conditions at what point in time, and then learning other ways of building them out, whether it's in portfolio 1, 2, 3, or whether it's in Bloomberg, or whether it's in a free stock screen. And so I think what I'm going to do is probably cover 90% of this in my 2 classes during the semester. And then I'm going to just use it to fill all this content out. And then if somebody comes and like, they just want to know market terminology, they can do this. They want to know, the technicals, they can do this. They want to know everything, they can do this. And then Mhm. What I'm hoping to do with this one is like tailor it more towards like hedge fund type of gurus, and get like a real tight knit community in there. So like as we're looking at the market, as we're looking at the relative rotation, getting a lot of real good masterminds inside of a community that are like circulating ideas. And then what I might do is plug the students like into that community during the semester. So whatever we do. Yeah, and then this version that's like the one off. It'll include like all the content, but it won't have the community aspect. So it's more like you want to get your feet wet. But once I fill them out, like right now they're just shells and there's not a lot of content. It's just like a skeletal outline framework. But I have all the content. I just need to put it in there. So after the semester's over, once I put it in there, probably what I'll do is like, if you want to rebuild the portfolios, if it's 147 pre-sell, I'll probably up it to like 347. If it's the intermediate market knowledge course, it'll be, maybe the similar price. But what I'll also do is go back and like probably layer on top of that stuff about day trading. So if you want to look at day trading, you can, but it won't be the main focus. The main focus will be market knowledge. And so that, yeah, the only stuff I'm not covering are these, which are more That's probably more of like a graduate course, and I don't really know what to do with them, but I'm planning on trying to see like how I can apply these tools in real time for picking out either like minute by minute what stock you want to day trade or month by month, because they're really powerful signals. And what I want to do is take that technology and layer it on top of either like the stocks that pass these or just any given stock, or like if you have a basket of stocks you watch, or even like a currency pair, like putting them through this and then saying like, okay, over the last such and such, like for the next hour this should go up or this should go down, or for the next day this should go up or down, or over the next month or quarter or year or whatever. So taking these signals, which are like one-off up or down signals. um it's actually I have, I think some of these I have videos in so you can like watch the video, but basically this is my dissertation, which was looking at non-random chart patterns, so like a head and shoulders, rectangle, triangle, broadening, double, top and bottom. And so at the base layer, what I'm doing is just showing like the technology and the math behind how you make them. And then what this course will do is like just give a spreadsheet that breaks everything down, and then you can basically take a price series, put it in there, and then get, you know, what the current signal is. And then going up from there, this version is going to be more of like a package system that uses one of two packages, either Mathematica or Stata, that I've built with my advisor. Actually, my advisor did a lot of the engineering for it. He's a total genius, but I understand how to use them, and I'm learning how to rebuild them. And basically, what it'll do is like, say you have 100 stocks or 1,000 stocks or 30 stocks, then this would be a better way to go, where you can basically do this version of it, download the resources needed to run it on your own, and then inside of it I'll teach you how to use it, and then you can run it on your own. And then the most premium one is more like, let's work one on one if you have like a very custom application that you want to do, which is currently what I'm working on with it. Is like, say I want to take a stock that I'm watching like Nvidia for day trading, and I want to know after the market opens what's it going to do for the next 5 minutes, or what's it going to do for the next 30 minutes or the next hour. Or I want to look at 15 stocks that pass these portfolios, and they're updated every month. I want to put the most recent 15 stocks through before they're announced, and I want to look at like which stocks might be showing a buy signal or a short signal, and then I want to take those long short actions on them. So like more custom real-time applications around either monthly trading or weekly trading or daily trading or intraday trading, and then tailoring it more towards like specific applications with just like one-on-one sessions, or recording more tailored niche videos on how to like get real-time data feed through it. So that's, I don't really have a course for that. I could maybe do that, but it's I think inside of these I have a video that walks through it, but what I'm doing right now is I'm auto pulling videos to my, so like July 19th, explaining those patterns is going to go out on my YouTube. So this will break down more about like what those are. And then ICT. Um, no, they're going to be public. I'm going to basically go through and explain everything, but I doubt you'll be able to take that and like fully do everything you'd ever want to do. Like it might answer some questions, and if you're already hot on it, it might help you, but if you're like not really sure what it is and you want to see what it is, it'll give you more than enough info to know what it is. But for you to be able to like bridge that next step on your own, then you need to go through the course. Then I'll explain even more in the course. And then